Hello,
And welcome to our podcast, Wine with
Shelley.
and Shelley.
We are two women passionate about supporting those affected by cancer. Our businesses are dedicated to providing resources and community for people navigating this challenging journey.
Whether you're a cancer survivor, caregiver, or just looking for information, we've got you covered.
On this podcast, we'll be diving into a wide range of topics, from the latest research and treatments to practical tips for coping with the emotional and physical challenges of cancer.
We'll also be sharing inspiring stories, interviewing experts, and exploring the latest trends in cancer care.
Join us as we navigate this journey together.
Let's get started. Welcome back to this episode of Wine with Shelley and Shelley.
And we're back. You guys thought you got rid of us, but you didn't, and here we are. We have lots to catch up about, lots of things happening, but we also have a really awesome guest that I can't wait for you guys to hear the story of. Shell, what's new? It sounds like you were just in a parade for Breathe Incorporated yesterday. That's exciting, huh?
Yes, it was fun to do, and it was memorializing a patient that we had lost. So it was one of her final wishes. She nicely threatened me that when she knew she was no longer going to be with us, that I would follow through, and that we would be a part of it. So it was a nice day. And
Yeah.
lots of people. And I think, I heard she wanted to give us some more exposure. And so it was something that she was a part of for many years and coordinated. And so I know she was up there
Smiling.
smiling.
But also she was super thankful because Breathe Incorporated was the reason she was able to be in the home that she had during her cancer journey. And it was just kind of like you're scratching each other's backs, and it was a really great experience all the way around for her to know that she wasn't going to lose her home during that period of time. And so then you guys went and did a great memorial and walked in the parade, and I'm sure she was smiling and tickled that you were there doing what you said you were going to do. And I think that's the drive home is there was the follow through of a promise that was made to somebody you were working with. And I think that says a lot about Breathe Incorporated.
Well, thank you. You know, the sweetest part about doing it was that, unfortunately, she was somebody who never took time for herself or never did things for herself. She did for everyone else. And, with her passing, there was a lot of just turmoil in her family, and people are not honoring her wishes. And, that's very sad to see that she dedicated her whole life to everyone else. And then certain people were trying really hard to make sure her wishes were upheld. And so we were happy to be a small part of that.
And that's amazing because it's a challenge with families when they lose a loved one who actually does follow through with what that person's wishes were. Oftentimes we become a little bit selfish in that aspect, that it's like, oh, it's more about what my needs are, what I need, what's important to me, instead of, wait a minute, this is their final little hoorah. And it's important to follow what that person wants, regardless of what your feelings are.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't matter. Set it aside, people. Set it aside, because it's not your storyline. You get to write your own story, and that's cool. But when it's your loved one or somebody you care about, you best be knowing what their wishes are, and you best be stepping in the path that they have led, because it is their book.
Absolutely.
And you guys did it just the right way, and I'm so proud of you. This is so awesome.
Thank you. Well, before we get to our guest, I just want to say that I also spent a wonderful weekend on Shelley's property, and Shelley and her husband. And so I've been hearing about the vision that you have to share that property with many people. And I have to tell you, it was a very relaxing weekend. And the property has some beautiful water elements to it. And between that and the fire and just the awesome company, I'm excited to watch that property evolve and watch your vision, Jeremy's vision, come to life.
Yeah, it's about people. It's about community. And I think people do feel lost and they feel like there isn't that kind of community. Or if they're lost and they don't have a community, maybe that's a space for them. However, we'll see how that all turns out when we get it finished. But the process has been there. We haven't even had the home, and we've had the summer full of people coming out camping. We have had people enjoying the nature. There's been many, many deer, owls, and all these different things that, just take you home. And as Michelle said, when she got out there, she goes, God, I got on the gravel road. It's a 4-mile gravel road to get there. And she goes,
It's a 4-mile gravel road.
And she goes, I hit the gravel and I already felt good.
Yes.
And I said, that is what I was hoping you would say, because that's all I needed to hear, is that the space that I felt was going to bring people some peace is truly being felt. And that's what I look forward to, is that piece of things. And I was excited to have you and your husband out and some other friends. So that will continue to be shared. And, there's bumps in the way, and we're just going to keep trudging along and doing what we're supposed to do here.
Absolutely. So it'll be exciting to see what Sparkling Survivor is able to do with that property, as well as your personal use.
Personal is being with people. And when we do get personal, we create a community. We make people feel like they're heard and understood. And sometimes that's all someone needs. It's really about it. I don't think it takes much more than to tell people that they're being heard and listened to, and nature does a good job and doesn't talk back. Well, actually, Ken, I had that happen once. That was a big, huge kaboom, because we've had storms like crazy this year. There's something with the energy out there that definitely has shattered my bones a few times when I'm standing in the water and I get one crack, and it's the loudest crack of thunder I have ever heard in my entire life. And all I had to do was go, woohoo! Is that all you got? And that was it. It was like, this is the most amount of energy I've felt in my entire life. And nature has a way of letting us know that that's what's in charge, truly. So I can't wait to have more adventures with many out there. So
Excellent. So without further ado,
get ready, people. Get ready. This is a good one.
Introduce our guest.
So we have a friend. His name is Jim. And inspiring is not even a word we can have here. And I can't wait to get you guys ready to hear a little bit of a story. We'll share just a little tidbit so you understand that there is cancer involved, but there's such a spirit here. Somebody that has a story to tell, and we can't wait for you to hear about it.
So I always say that life doesn't stop when you get a cancer diagnosis. And Jim, it sounds like you embody that definition in a very profound way.
I do. Was diagnosed last October by accident. They had done an MRI for a shoulder separation, and the radiologist caught the tumor in the right lung. And after a couple weeks of testing and everything, found out that it had gone to the brain too. Mm-hmm. So we started therapy right away. That's where I met Shelley. I had one of the best therapy sessions I've had. It was a good day. Things have been up and down. Immunotherapy failed in the brain. We did radiation treatment that got all the lesions that were in the right temporal lobe, and now the cancer has gone to the parietal lobe. And it's causing some trouble with motor functions, but doctors think they can take care of it. So that's where we're at right now, doing radiation Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, and then we wait for 3 months to scan again. But the biggest thing, life goes on, man. I told my partner the other night, I said, as awful as this is, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. You got to pick what's there And we started right away with, this isn't going to kill us. Doctors were like, don't panic. We can control this. And so we just jumped in and said, okay, let's do this. And we've stayed as positive as we can be, going on as life is normal. Worked until I retired in July. Retired my partner in August so we could spend some time together.
Wonderful. What kind of work do you do?
I was a maintenance engineer for 40 years, commercial buildings. Got to the point I couldn't do it anymore. Went to part-time for a while and then just got out. 68 years old, I was ready to retire, but, well, not really. I wanted to go to 70, but we had to shorten things up a little bit. But I just, it's not awful. It's weird. It's like it should be awful and terrible and dark and misery and gloom and everything, and it's just not.
What do you attribute that to?
I've dealt with cancer my whole life. It was introduced to me when I was 4 years old. My mother's sister had it. And I asked her one day why her shirt looked different than my mom's. So she explained the whole thing to me, showed me her scars, everything that it was about. And she was a cancer survivor and died at age 92.
Wow.
And then my mother had another sister, about 5 years later, developed bone cancer and died. It's horrid to watch. That was my favorite aunt. But I had some really good times. One of my favorite times is we were at the farm out in western Nebraska. I was with my mom's sister who was cured of cancer. We were out there taking care of her for a week. And it was Saturday night, and the radio was on, and my aunt said, I want to dance. And she was limited to a bed. My uncle walked over. He had his bibbed overalls on. He leaned over. She grabbed his bib overalls, stood her up, put her feet on his feet, and they danced around the living room. And there was the three brothers, myself and my aunt, and we all just ran out of different doorways crying. But the experience was like the beauty of that moment has carried through my life forever. And
that's a wonderful point to make.
Yes.
That we can create beautiful moments regardless of how tragic, how terrible the circumstances are. It's our choice to create.
And even then, like when you were 4, having that family member who actually didn't hide her, this was part of her life, this is part of who she was. We oftentimes have been shown, oh, let's hide the scars. No, she actually opened that and allowed you to, as a child, kind of go, oh, well, she's still here,
right,
and she's still telling me about it, and give you a little bit more of a positive.
she took all the fear away of the big C word.
Yeah.
And then survived, which I really didn't understand at the time, but
Right.
then now later on really got it.
It's like she planted a little seed, though.
Yeah.
She planted the little seed.
Don't go down the rabbit hole. Life can go on.
Yeah.
And hers did for 30 more years.
Sure.
It's amazing.
Sure.
So, and then I had teachers that died, friends that died in high school of cancer, and it was awful and horrible. But still, you move on, life changes, you move to a different town, and things change. The worst was my dad when he was diagnosed with liver cancer. Went in for did a colonoscopy, and they found a 6-centimeter tumor in his colon that had spread to the liver already. And it was just one thing. We tried one thing after another, and nothing worked.
Sure.
But there again, one of the best memories of my life was the Friday night before he died. We were in a cancer ward at Rockford Memorial Hospital. Everybody was lined up saying goodnight to him, and I stayed for a little while, and his mouth was bothering him. He was really dry. So I stuck the sponge in the water and stuck it in there. He said, that hurts. And I said, wait a minute, I'll be right back. And when we went there that Monday, they showed us this little kitchenette that had all sorts of food and stuff. And my dad and I always shared popsicles together for 40 years, 35 years. And I remembered that there were cherry popsicles.
Knew that was coming.
And I ran down the hall and came back, and we both sat and ate a popsicle together and cried. That was the last time I saw him. The kidneys had shut down overnight. And he lasted later afternoon, but I still talk about cherry popsicles, and every time I have one, I smile and think of my dad.
That is so sweet.
But the gift, the little tiny thing, it was a tiny little thing that
Something
made
that just-
such a big
and
deal.
It made all the difference in the world to him that night.
And that's the thing, is we forget it doesn't have to be this big, huge thing. It was a simple gesture.
Wait, think of the little things, and that can change everything.
Yes.
And it doesn't take much. It's not a whole lot. I had a niece when she found out this year, and it's my in-laws. She came over with her parents and brought a little bracelet for me to wear. And so little things like that, make your day. Things go on. We went to a graduation party for the nephew, and we've been so busy going out to lunch since we retired, and that's been a good time. So.
Yep. Still doing the things you love to do.
Yeah, living
You're
life.
Squeezing that in, and that's important, because oftentimes people are like, oh, I can't do this because I can't be around people, or oh, I can't do this because it's still your choice.
Yeah.
What are you willing to take chances on? If you just lay down, if you already heard that you have cancer and you lay down and you don't go and do anything, you're not living anyways. So why not take the chance and get out there to cross paths with different people, or to spend time with loved ones or friends or whatever? To me, isn't that worth the risk? So it's a choice. I mean, it's up to you as to what you think is worth that risk and what's not. Everybody's different, and they're going to make that decision. But you're just like, you know what? I'm still going to do the things I love to do, be around the people I want to be around. And, those little memories are what continue on regardless of our situation.
Right.
So,
And also those endorphins you get from when you do go out and you are around friends, you're around family, you're around people that change your mindset and can make you smile, make you laugh. That goes a long way for healing.
100% uplifting versus the doom and gloom. When people look at you and they're like, oh, poor you, that actually drags you down, versus like, hey, let's go and do something fun. And don't think that I've forgotten that you have this experience that you're going through, because I'm going to carry it with you, but we're going to uplift each other, and we're going to have a good moment together to like help alleviate some of the stressors that you're experiencing.
I was out to dinner with my in-laws' family. There's like 10 of them that have a birthday thing every month, so they just all get together once a month, and we got invited into this when we retired. And I'd sat next to one of the sisters I hadn't seen for like 20 years, and we were talking, and she just found out that I had cancer. And afterwards she sent a card to the house that said, I can't believe what a inspiration you are. And where this comes from, I don't know, but hang on to that. Because she said, I felt better just sitting next to you, and I don't have anything. And it was those kind of things are good. My work, where I worked at 4 different buildings and took care of the maintenance of those 4 buildings. My tenants were wonderful. They bought me all sorts of stuff, did a meal train. One group bought this thing that's called Rock the Treatment, that had a whole bunch of stuff in this box, and they still call and want to know, and I still go down. I'm going down tomorrow morning to the office to see people, and then I'm going out to lunch with some guys I work with.
Love it.
And just, you got to keep doing things.
Yep.
Life goes on. It's not over.
Because today's still here, and it's a gift, right? And you're just like, I'm going to get out there, and all these people that you never anticipated to show up have shown up.
Yeah.
So they've shown up, and that's pretty important. Sometimes people don't know what to do, and so they sometimes just like they don't know how to handle it.
Sometimes
but it doesn't have
it'll-
to be anything. It can
Right.
just be going out to lunch. It can, simple things.
Sometimes in life you forget who you are. Cancer has a way of making you forget everything you're doing. And then when you start getting cards and letters and people start showing up, you find out, well, I am a really pretty decent person for all this to be happening. And I said to my partner yesterday, I said, I've become my grandfather. And that's a really good thing because my grandpa was a really nice guy. He was friendly to everybody. He helped everybody. Even when they didn't have anything, he'd help. And I have very good feelings of being that person. My dad didn't get to be, he died early.
Sure.
And I grew up around my grandparents. They were a big part of my life when I was a kid. So have people that tell me that, I've had cousins tell me that, you remind me of Grandpa. And
You're like,
yay,
pat on the back.
yes,
That's
man,
awesome.
that's what I
wanna
wanted
be
to,
just
that's what I wanted to grow up and be, was my grandpa.
That's awesome.
Awesome guy, so.
We
And
don't always know how we touch other people's lives. And so for other people to share that
Yeah, and you get
is a gift.
little notes from people you haven't heard of forever. Lady I met this summer, I was telling you about at a party.
Yeah.
She's had a really hard life. Her mother committed suicide when she was in her 40s. Just stuff like that. We got to talking and just kind of bared souls with each other at this party. And then at the end of the night, we both just hugged each other and told each other what good souls we were. And that was a good feeling to have somebody recognize that. And she too said, I can't believe you have brain cancer and you're just plugging away like this. And I'm like, well, I could sit home and cry, but why? I'm here at a party. I'm driving a pontoon boat on a lake. This is a good day, man.
It's a great day.
Yeah.
It's a great day.
Yes, I'll take them all like that.
Absolutely.
Even if I just open my eyes, it's like, I woke up.
Yeah.
Yay!
Well, waking up with gratitude. That's absolutely 100% it. And you're waking up
That's
with
the
gratitude.
other thing too, is being just thankful for every moment that's here.
Yeah. So that's where the benefit comes from.
Being an alcoholic, one day at a time.
So you were talking, I had mentioned earlier that just because somebody's diagnosed with cancer doesn't mean that life stops. And you obviously have a wonderful spirit and such a positive attitude. But I know that life has been difficult. And you had shared a little bit with us about your journey with alcohol. Do you want to share?
Sure. Yeah. Started when I was 13. My parents drank, didn't care. We're at the country club. Booze was over everywhere in the house. My sisters all drank. They all partied. And I partied along with them and kind of got blackmailed into not telling anything because we'll narc on you if you narc on us. For about 10 years, I blamed the alcoholism on them, but then realized it wasn't their fault.
That's quite an effective strategy.
I mean, it's true.
I mean, and I went down every alcoholic rabbit hole there is.
Okay.
Just lost marriage, lost everything. Then sobered up for a while and then started drinking again, and then finally got to the root of the problem, which was that I'm not only an alcoholic, but I'm a gay man living a straight life. Which
And that was the key.
that
I
was the
think that
driver
Yeah.
behind the alcoholism, I think. My mother was a raging alcoholic, mean, nasty woman, horrible. Which I can't blame her for my alcoholism. Once I did sober up and saved my marriage, the first one. And we were together for quite a while, and then my dad died. And I just had to change my life. It was killing me to be somebody I wasn't. So I came out, That was not good. My entire friendships, everybody I knew would quit talking to me. I couldn't go to church anymore. They didn't want me there.
That's so sad.
It was really awful. I moved to a different community, made all new friends, started drinking again. Drank for about another, I don't know, 5-6 years, went through a pension. And then met Dan.
Dan the man.
I was sitting in the bar drunk. He had just come out of rehab for the third time. Walked in the door and the hair stood up on the back of my neck. And I made some stupid remark about, I can't hear you, can I come over and sit next to you? And I never left. And we've never drank since. We became each other's sponsors. Rocky roads,
Sure.
sometimes, but the rewards of being sober with Dan, in 21 years, we own our own home, we own 2 cars, we're set for retirement, just by being sober.
Right.
And the
That's
blessings that come from being sober. And
Right.
sometimes they take 20 years to see them, but boy, was it worth the wait. Holy cow. It was really hard at times. I fell down once and ended up sick, of course, and horribly ill, and never did it again,
Right.
which was a good thing.
Kind of a fresh reminder, like,
Don't
God,
be
this is-
stupid here. Don't be
Yep.
stupid. This life is
human.
good without that. And it has. I miss it sometimes when we're all together with a bunch of family and they're all drinking and we
Sure.
go home early and we don't stay around a lot because the alcoholism runs rampant in my family.
It's pretty prevalent in many families.
A couple sisters that just go stupid, dumb stuff when they drink and just piss me off. So we stay at a hotel when we go there, and so we can get out when we have
Right.
to, and just watch those triggers. When we're with all our friends, they all drink and it doesn't bother us at all because they behave themselves. So,
Good for you.
yeah,
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And I can't say enough about what a journey that is.
it's
I-
a lifelong journey that changes everything.
It really does.
And
It
it's
really does.
genetic.
Yeah.
And, I always tell people, if you ever are curious about how difficult it is to end an alcohol addiction, think about the fact that the majority of insurance companies will pay for drug rehab, but not alcohol rehab, right? Because it is so difficult to not go back and keep going back.
Yep.
In society, it's so socially acceptable. Not only is it socially acceptable, but it's promoted.
Yeah.
It's legal. It's allowed. It's
It's on the buses the advertising's on the buses
Right.
that drive around town, go
Right.
get drunk.
Right,
It's like,
right.
now they're doing it at football games.
But you
And it's
kind of hit the nail on the head too, because there was a piece of you that wasn't real. You weren't really being truly who you were. So that's the one part that sticks in my mind about something like alcohol, which ends up being a depressant, which is not good for our brains in general, because we're trying to depress a piece of us that we can't show the world, as evidenced by the world didn't embrace Jim. You were Jim before,
Right.
you were Jim after,
But-
and yet the world doesn't understand that. And that is a really sad thing, because that is not something that should ever be acceptable.
Right.
Ever to anybody or anything, because you're an amazing human being. You were that person before, and I'm glad that you found that root. You hit it right on the head, how you said, okay, I had to understand why I was doing it.
And I knew when I was a kid there was something different about me. I was attracted to my sister's boyfriends.
Sure, sure.
But then I did come out when I was 18 and got shoved right back in the closet.
Sure.
My parents said, you can be gay or you can be our son, but you can't be both.
Yeah.
And then they retracted that, but they'd already said it.
And you cannot take back what's been said.
Yeah.
Words.
You can apologize, you can try your best, but words
Matter.
hurt.
Yeah.
Words matter.
And they stay with individuals.
Yeah.
You know, until the day you die.
Yeah. So I married a woman with 2 kids. Made my dad happy. Made my mom happy. And then when my dad died, I didn't care anymore. Then everything unraveled.
But in a good way.
And I came out of it in a good way.
Yeah.
And it took a few years of another 5 years of alcoholism and, being broke and no place to live and
Right.
no home, no future, no nothing. In fact, the night I was downtown to meet Dan, I had intentions of just ending it all. And then I met Dan, and he had the same intentions.
Oh
Because
my
he'd gone
God.
through rehab
It's
3 times
profound.
and had fallen off the wagon again. And we were both just going to just quit. And we met each other, and
Wow.
22 years later,
That's amazing.
we're
That's
still going
amazing.
strong. So
And there's no mistakes. There's no mistakes
None.
because
This
you
was-
had to be, you both had to be here and you had things to do and people to make a difference to. And for 22 years, you continued to do that. But it was that pivotal moment for both of you to have
just to have converged at the
accidentally-
exact same time. I'd never met him. I'd never seen him. He'd never seen me.
there's no mistakes.
Yeah.
But I'm struck at how just the courage to pick up and keep going, because guilt is a powerful emotion. And talking about going down the rabbit hole, you can fall into the pit of hell
Yes.
and just continually tell yourself, I'm a bad person. I've done horrible things, and never get to the other side.
I had my mother believed in Missouri Synod Lutheran guilt and drowned us with it till the day she died. And she and I had a hard knock life together because she wasn't there when I was a little kid. And it was all booze, and it pissed me off. And then she had to quit drinking when she was in her mid-70s with kidney problems. But she was still a mean old drunk. And no other way
Because
to put it.
the root of what's going on
All
there.
of the attitude was still there.
Yeah.
Or they call
Never
it
changed.
The dry drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
you have
they're
to-
some of the worst.
Yeah, you have to do the work to get rid of that
She
piece
never
of.
did that.
Yeah, yeah.
Which left us barely talking to each other for most of her life.
Sure.
And it got nice at the end, and because she was dying. But it's my alcoholism. I had to get over and did. As the rewards started coming through, things started making more sense. And they started immediately, just little things like, oh, all of a sudden we have an apartment. Oh, we have furniture. Oh, we have a dog. And life was good.
Yep.
And it kept getting better. My family was unsure of what I was going to become. My partner came out when he was 12 years old and was loved and cared for. And
His family is
nurtured and
accepting and-
He was born and raised in Madison. I was born and raised in rural Illinois.
Sure.
So his came naturally, mine didn't. But he was an alcoholic, raging alcoholic, and his family was terribly worried about him, and then that all went away. So I became like his savior in his family's eyes, and it didn't happen the other way because my family was kind of pissed off because I wasn't drinking anymore, but now they really love Dan and our life has become. But his family became mine. We had great loss in his family. Lost his sister to cancer in 2017. Changed a lot.
Sure does.
Then we lost 3 parents 3 years in a row. I lost a nephew to suicide a couple years ago. So we've been through hell. plenty of chances to go out and get just roaring drunk for no reason at all.
But you guys
Didn't,
rose.
and plowed through it
Yep.
and grew from it. We keep growing from all the things we're being taught. Sometimes they're hard and we don't want to learn them, but we learn them anyway. But that's where I think my strength comes with the cancer. It's not the end of the world. It really is not the end of the world, even if it is the end of the world. Who knows what's out there?
Right.
And you have to keep an open mind to that, because there might be something really wonderful out there. We just don't know.
Well, not might. There is. And we can maybe just chat about it in a little bit.
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion that even though you've shared a lot with us, there's probably even more to the life of Jen.
Yeah. It came out in 1995 to the family and friends through a Christmas card.
Oh,
I thought it was an interesting way to do it. My lawyer didn't think it was a very good thing to do, but we're still in the middle of the divorce. But within a year, I was diagnosed with AIDS, full-blown AIDS. I had what they call an acute seroconversion, where
what is that?
you are exposed to the virus and it immediately gets you sick. That waits 12 to 15 years like most people. And they knew that because I went into the hospital because I'd lost a bunch of weight. Couldn't drink. I had thrush really bad. Couldn't eat. Put me in the hospital. They did 4 Western blot tests. All of them came back negative. The day I left the hospital, they did a full test that they send off. At the time, we're sending off to California, the PCR test. That came back with a viral load of 1,500,000. So sometime within the 6-week period, I had been exposed to the virus and it just took over in my body. Fortunately, triple cocktail had just been introduced and the FDA had just approved it, so I started on that. That was devastating.
Oh, but I bet.
Devastating. I had just come out. I was pretty much alone. Didn't know any community, nothing. Had a boyfriend that then disappeared because I was diagnosed with AIDS. So it left me pretty much alone. I had a good job with the state of Illinois, so I tried to work things off. Went through PTSD really bad. I took care of the grounds for a college, 90-acre campus. And as I was mowing, the lines would go all swervy everywhere. And my boss comes out and he goes, "Are you all right?" And just tears just streaming down my face.
And for the yard people, they would be losing their minds, but you couldn't see straight. So that's all, as good as it was going to get. Hey, you got the mowing done, right?
It got done. It just wasn't pretty. So, but over time, that changed. Met a couple of guys that were really bad news, and just fell for them like a rock, and just blew through pensions and through money and through everything I had. And I was just going to give up and decided no. And my sisters always say, "How can you take that medicine every day?" I'm like, "I've been taking this medicine for 30 years every day. It's 4 pills a day and it's keeping me alive." And doctors are good. Over the years, things have gotten better. People are nicer. Nurses will actually touch you.
And human contact is important.
Yeah,
And did you feel like there was still a piece of, like, even back in the 90s, we still had people that were just like,
The first doctor I went to that admitted me into the hospital, I had to go see him afterwards to close out the insurance form for him letting me in the hospital. When I walked into the room, my folder was open, laying on a table. I sat down, nobody came in. So finally I got up and walked over and it said, "I have AIDS." My viral load is 1,600,000. And I sat back down just like in shock. Finally, the doctor walked in and he goes, "Did you read that?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." And he said, "Then I don't want to ever see you again." And he walked out of the office.
Oh,
That was 1995, June of 96. And then I had another doctor that called that had seen me. He was an AIDS doctor. He'd been in, and I wrote the phone number down wrong. It took him a while for him to track me down. And then once he got a hold of me, then I started treatment right away, which failed. I've been through every drug there is, and we finally found one that works.
Wow.
So been negative, undetectable now for 5 years.
Wow.
So I don't even think about that anymore.
That's good.
that's great.
It's good. But it's really unfortunate that that's an experience that you had to feel from other human beings.
That was awful
Yeah.
because you have nowhere to go.
Right. How alone?
Yeah, because my GP told me that too. He said, "I don't know what you have and I can't treat you. Don't come back here."
Unbelievable. Like, I can't even imagine treating another human being like that.
Well, that, and when you don't know where to go, I mean, this is a medical issue. This is a situation you're in, and what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to be able to put faith into that person that did go to school to understand.
And even though when I did get hooked up with the HIV doctor, my first visit was at St. Anthony's Hospital in Rockford in a ward that was empty. And I sat in a chair all by myself in a room that was probably, you could have put 50 beds in, but I was there all alone. Doctor met with me and then I left. And it was like, why? This is so weird. Why aren't I sitting in an office? Why are you putting me somewhere and isolating me? Which is the last thing I needed. And then that started to change. And
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, because that alone feeling would have been horrid.
When you were diagnosed with cancer, first time, can you describe to us what the circumstances were and how you felt?
we had an MRI done for something completely different.
Right.
Showed a tumor in the lung. That was the first report we got. We got the CT scan back. Or that they found the tumor in the lung.
Was that just an office visit, like an outpatient visit?
I had an MRI done as an outpatient.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was on a Friday afternoon. And about 2:00 on Sunday, the report popped up and I looked at it through my chart and went, "Oh my God." And I handed the phone to Dan and he just dropped the phone. We cried, tried to pull it together. And then when things just started rolling, the next thing I knew, I was in Baraboo for another CAT scan, and then in Baraboo again for a CAT scan with the magnetic stuff, or the radioactive stuff in it.
PET.
And yeah, because I could get them done there faster than Madison. The first thing I did on Monday morning was called my doctor and said, "Whoops."
Sorry. That's a great blooper. Keep that.
That's awesome.
But the first thing I did was call my doctor, my GP. And then the nurse said, "What can we do for you?" And I said, "I just had an MRI done that popped a tumor in the back of my lung. I want a plan by this afternoon at 3:00. The doctor called back the next morning and said, we want you to go get a CAT scan. So they threw me over to SSM. I scheduled it for the 30th of October. Mm-hmm. The next morning, the doctor calls and says, "Can you be in Baraboo in an hour?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm walking out the door right now." I just called my boss and said, "I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to Baraboo for a test." And then ended up back up there for another one. And by the end of 2 weeks, I'd seen a pulmonologist and I'd had another MRI to the brain that showed that there were 2 lesions in the right temporal lobe, which really hit hard.
Was
And
Dan with you at the time, or did you see that on my chart?
We saw that on my chart too. But I knew after, and I hate to say this, but I finished the MRI, a lady came back in, and I could tell by the look in her eyes that there was cancer in my brain. And I felt so bad for her that she felt so bad that it came across her facial expressions.
Right.
And I just wanted to hug her and say, it's okay. It's going to be okay. Even though it's not okay, it's going to be okay. And then Sunday afternoon, we got my chart dinged. I just handed it to him. We just sat and cried. And then 30 days later, I was in chemotherapy. Started the 3rd of December. Just everything just fell into pieces. Everybody was shocked I got things done so fast, but I'm like, you got to be proactive here.
You had
You
been
can't wait.
through it.
You can't wait. If I would have waited, I would have been 2 months before I got those CAT scans.
Sure.
And my doctor just he just started fighting and fighting. And once we got the oncologist and the radiation doctor on schedule, everything took off. And unfortunately, it hasn't been all good, but it's still not bad. I'm still here doing this.
Right,
So
right.
I really want
Telling the story.
Yeah.
Telling the story.
I want to help somebody.
Right, and that's the thing is there's ups and downs and all around, and we can't change that.
Right.
What we can do is change how we handle it.
Put the smile on the face in the morning, make coffee, do your dailies. I mean, I spend a lot of time sorting pills and going to doctor's appointments, but it keeps me busy. It's always a good thing when I meet with my doctors and stuff, because they tell me the truth. They've said from the very beginning, don't panic. And we've held on to that, do not panic. Because then everything falls apart.
Right.
Then it all just comes unglued. And we've had our moments. I mean, we had a knockdown drag out last week, and I said, get the hell out. Go, I don't care. And then
But that's part of when she was asking how you felt. I think sometimes we don't even know how to take this because we've never done this before. You know, we've done different things in life, like you've gone through some serious things with alcoholism and AIDS, and these are big things. These are big diagnoses, and many people have different things that have happened in their life, but yet you still can't really quite prepare for these types of things because cancer just is a different word. It says something different. AIDS was similar because at the time we didn't really know.
There was nothing, now we can live with it.
We keep coming further and further with medicine, and medicine is there to help us prolong life, and that's as long as it's serving us, right? And so far it's been doing pretty good for you, which is wonderful.
Yeah. I've had people tell me that it's a waste of time.
And that's their perspective. Everybody's got their own opinions.
Chemotherapy and radiation and all that's just horrible, awful stuff. You'll never be the same person. I can't see any difference. I stutter a little once in a while, and I mumble once in a while a little more, and my fingers don't work quite right, but I'm alive. I'm well. I'm happy.
And if the majority is positive, continue. That's what it's there for. It's a different story if it's not serving us, but at this point it has been serving you and getting you where we wanted to go.
Yep.
Everything has its place. And that's just how that goes, and I'm glad that it's
the day I met you.
Yeah,
it has its
no
place.
mistakes. Yeah, you're right. And
you
then
were
we get
put there that day for a reason,
Absolutely.
and that was to get me here to talk about this.
Yep. Yep. And we'll have you back because those are just itsy bitsy pieces. I definitely would love to come back and have a conversation with yourself and Dan, and not even necessarily have to touch on like the whole cancer piece, but it does affect him as well. And it would be great to have you guys come back to share some of those pieces, but then, some positive, some negative. You two met when you were about ready to say, I'm done.
done. We were too.
And you both have lifted each other up and carried each other for this long. And I would love to have another conversation with yourself, with him,
Look
with
at Dan down
both.
there.
But
Absolutely.
we just got a different diagnosis recently, and the followers will hopefully be able to hear this conversation and follow again, to know that, you did get a little bit different news this last time. And that does affect the caregiver because they know that it looks a little different. So we will have you back. We don't want to cut this conversation off because I think you're going to draw a crowd. You're going to draw people that are interested in hearing this story. And I think there's more to share. And I think Michelle will agree with that. So we do have to
I'm
wrap
willing.
up today.
Absolutely.
But this is no mistake. You will be back. And I think that we can go on a couple different topics that I think will be important for people to hear out there. Some
Absolutely.
real topics, some real conversation, but yet still a dang smile behind it.
Stay happy.
Yes, and thank you for never
be
giving up.
happy.
Yeah.
Never
They
giving
never
up.
will.
Yeah, and we'll tell Dan thank you too. I need his phone number because I need to tell him thank you, because otherwise we wouldn't be sitting here being inspired ourselves. The listeners, probably the guy recording us. I know how I feel, and I think that
Absolutely.
that's what we hope that you get a chance to tell. But there's more. There's more.
There's more.
He's coming back.
We got some things Dan and I got to work together through with
And that's okay. You can
the
just
what if.
Yep.
Yep.
And we'll be in
And-
conversation.
We're trying to have that conversation. He shuts down a lot when I talk about this bothers, what happens to him bothers me more than what's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
I
don't
have
know
these
what-
conversations on probably a weekly basis, and I'm very comfortable with having these conversations. And letting people know that it's a gift. It's a gift to them when somebody's able to share what
Correct.
they want.
And
Correct.
right now, I'm trying to get everything tied up.
Yep.
All the loose ends, everything put into his name quietly, and so he doesn't have to do certain things.
Yeah, now you can go back and tell him how much fun it was. He'll come back and
It was an awesome experience.
yeah, and we're
definitely
really
do it
grateful.
again.
We're grateful that you came back, and I have a sneaking suspicion you people will be hearing back from Jim, because
There's more to share.
there is more
There's
to
another
share.
chapter to this story yet. A few more.
Exactly. These were already fun adventures, but it's real stories. It's somebody's story, and it's real. And these are the stories that people need to hear, because you're still sitting here with a smile telling these stories. And so thank you for joining us today. We much appreciate the time spent, because time, as you know, is invaluable. And you took the time to be able to tell people about your story so they could be inspired, or they could feel that sense of hope while they're going through their adventures. Because just like you said, you never thought you'd say, well, it's not as bad as what I had intended.
And it
there's-
really isn't. I'm just stunned.
Thank you
Thank you.
for coming
Thank
and
you for
sharing,
having me.
for the courage to do
Thanks.
that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I just want to end, Shelley, if that's okay with you,
Absolutely,
with a
Michelle.
message to the audience. These days, we know that people are going through really difficult times, harder times than in the past. And I just want to say that if you're out there and you're thinking about that your life's not worth it anymore, your problems are too great, and you are thinking like Jim and like Dan that you just want to end it, I hope that you found inspiration. And if you need to be connected, we will make sure that you can reach Jim. And just know that your life is worth it. And you're a beautiful person, and we will be here to remind you.
And there's always hope. There's always hope. Hang on to that.
And on that note, stay tuned for our next episode with Wine with Shelley and Shelley.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for joining us today on Wine with Shelley
And Shelley.
We appreciate your support and listening to our amazing guest stories. This podcast is brought to you by
An oncology survivor nurse.
and an oncology social worker.
We both own organizations led by women who are making a real difference in the lives of cancer patients and their families. Breathe Incorporated and Sparkling Survivor LLC.
Remember, there are many ways to get involved and support the fight against cancer. You can donate to our organization, volunteer your time, or simply spread awareness about us.
And if you're interested in being a guest on our podcast to share your cancer journey, a caregiver story, or even your business's supportive services, please reach out.
We'll be back soon with another inspiring episode. In the meantime, be sure to check out our websites and follow us on social media.
And remember, together,
We can breathe.
and become sparkling survivors.